This is another poke, half poem, half joke, entitled The Pearly Gates of Heaven. A man arrived at the pearly gates, but found them locked up tight. But then St. Peter walked across, a very welcome sight. The man was very nervous, for he'd committed many a sin, but he politely smiled at Peter and said, "Can I please come in?" St. Peter said, "I'll let you in if you can prove that since your birth you've performed at least one selfless act during your time on earth." The man said, "Well, I know I saved a lady from a truly horrid fate. Will that be enough, do you think, for me to pass your gate?" St. Peter said, "Tell me what happened, and then I will decide if your deed was good enough for you to come inside." "Well, what happened was," the man replied, "in our local park, I was out for an evening stroll as it was getting dark. A young lady was in front of me, when much to my alarm, she was surrounded by hell's angels who grabbed her by her arm. They dragged her through a gateway, then threw her to the ground. Their motorbikes stood side by side with hell's angels all around. Well, I wasn't having that. I followed them to see if I could distract them so she could then get free." He said, "They were all big men, but I picked the biggest tyke. I strode up to where he was standing beside his motorbike. As I say, he was a big man, so I stood up on my toes. I looked into his hairy face and I roughly pinched his nose. As the bully reeled back in shock, I shoved him in the chest. He fell over, his bike as well, and so did all the rest. The bikes went down like dominoes. The Hell's Angels in a whirl ran to pick them up again and forgot about the girl. So, because of what I did, I think it's fair to say, my really selfless act allowed the girl to get away." St. Peter said, "I am impressed. When was this, do you know?" "Well, yes," he said, "I remember it well. It was about a minute ago."